This is Straight Talk with it levitating Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
All right, welcome to Straight Talk with George to the Great Fan, the Preacher Man, and my co-host Shanan Big Papa Jones. How you doing, Big Papa?
I'm doing well, Bishop, and you?
Oh, Big Papa, you know, this is the best life I know. And, you know, God is with us, and God is doing some things, and God is showing some things. And God said, if my people just humble themselves and seek my face, then will I heal their land. And look like God is doing that in this season, in this time. In particular, the things are coming out about relationships and the things that people are doing that are not in line with what God wants done for his people. And they're ingratiating themselves financially. And now we have this big war going on between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. However, I want to start off with this conversation with Russia and Ukraine tonight, because I want to start off with Russia and Ukraine because of the fact Donald Trump said he could end this war day one. And he has not ended anything. He's saying now allow them to fight like two kids in the playground, and let's see who the victor is going to be. And that's not what he started off saying and doing and what he could do. So obviously there's some problem with his relationship with Putin, and there's some stuff that's not being said about that backdrop and that relationship. But we'll cover that more on the other side of Mississippi. But don't forget, this is Around the World with yours too, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, with news and information, along with Shanan E. Jones. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, make comments, and share right here on Straight Talk. Put it in Straight Talk News 1362@gmail.com, and we'll have you on the program. Like our channel, make comments to our channel, share, and subscribe. So Shanan, let's move on to Miss C on the other side.
Hi, Miss C here with your 3-minute news blast, or more or less. Hey, Bishop Greg. Hey, Pastor Shanan. Good to see you. Listen, I have some tidbits of information I want to tell you about. Taste of Talent Christian Talent Competition will be held June 28th, 7 p.m. at the Norcross Cultural Arts Center, number 10 College Street in Norcross. To get details on how you can participate, go online to divinelyinspiredresources.com. That's divinelyinspiredresources.com. Or you can give them a call at 678-651-4764. That's 678-651-4764. They want you to be a part of this Holy Spirit-inspired movement. The Georgia East Ecclesiastic Jurisdiction invites you to a 5th Sunday fellowship service to be held June 29, 2:30 p.m. at Old Path United Church of God in Christ, 5555 Buford Highway, Suite 504 in Norcross, Georgia. Bishop Ronnie Richardson is pastor. To get more information, call 770-550-2931. That's 770-550-2931. And my last bit of information is about Juneteenth. You know, we celebrate Juneteenth because it took us 2 years, I think, to find out that we had been freed. So that's what Juneteenth is all about. And that's going to happen on June 14th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the City of South Fulton, as the City of South Fulton presents a Family Fun Day with your host, Greg Street. It's going to happen at Wolf Creek Amphitheater, 3025 Merck Road in the City of South Fulton. It used to be called College Park. Now it's the City of South Fulton. And that you should have a great time there. And listen, if you'd like for us to announce your event, just email it to me at straighttalknews1362 gmail.com. That's Straight Talk News 1362 at gmail.com. And we'll be happy to announce your event. And listen, there's 4 things I'd like for you to do. Look on the front of your screen and you'll see something that says like and subscribe. We'd like for you to push those little buttons, like and subscribe to us, okay? And then leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. And number 4, share us. Do not keep Straight Talk News to yourself. Let everybody know what you know, okay? That Straight Talk News is on the air with Bishop Greg Fann and Pastor Shanan Jones. And me, Miss C, okay? We're going to see you right back here next time. And in the meantime and in between time, may the Lord God bless you real good, okay? Bye.
Well, thank you, Miss C, for the great job you're doing, and about the talent show, about what's going on at Wolf Creek, the services at the old the church. I'm calling the old Mountaintop Church, United Church of God in Christ, with the United Church of Christ preachers and his wife. All right, Preacher Richardson and Sister Richardson, and of course, I always want to make people know and keep people informed of what's going on in our community. As you know, that on the 21st at Liberty International, we will be hosting the Trouble is Easy to Get In and Hard to Get Out. Trouble is easy to get in, hard to get out. And of course, on that, we'll have Chief Gamage. Chief Gamage, our Solicitor General, will be having his attorneys from his office. Attorney Nixon will be there to talk about the pitfalls to get in trouble, and when you go before them as a prosecutor, what they have to do in terms of the charges, what kind of sentencing you would get. And then they want to talk about the impact of the family, the victim's family, and how the victim family is impacted by what's going on. So come on out and be with us on the 21st at from 11 to 2 at Liberty International Church, 1362 Metropolitan Parkway, in the lovely city of Atlanta, sponsored by yours truly, the church, Liberty International, and the Children's Soul with Sister Enia Kay. And the Nehemiah Lodge, they will be sponsoring, and they're going to do bean bags and food and stuff for the kids after the forum. So come on out, parents, come out. They will have books for you, and the books will come from the solicitor's office that will talk about the kinds of crimes, the kinds of penalties, and stuff that you can talk to your kids later, sit down and explain to them that trouble is easy to get in and the difficulties of getting out. Okay, well, Shannon, right now, you and I need to talk about what's going on here. And I was talking about, Ukraine, and I was talking about Russia. And now here we got Musk, and now it's him and Musk. And I believe it's something between him and Putin, and maybe him and some others too, but certainly with what we're seeing here, because he did promise that was a promise he made. That was a promise, and there's a lot of promises he made, but it was a promise he made day one. I'm holding my finger for Shannon. Day one, he said, I can end the war between Ukraine and Russia. It has not happened. Now he's saying, let them fight out like 2 kids on the playground. And now you got Elon Musk, the richest man, they say, in the world, along with Donald Trump, who is the powerful man in the world because he's seated in the seat of power as the president of the United States of America, battling over the budget. So we want to make sure that we talk about that today, and that we just share what our views and opinions are as it relates to what's going on at this time. So Shannon, it's up to you, Big Papa. I want to hear from you now.
Yeah, well, Bishop, I tell you, first of all, my allergies are acting up, so I may cough. I apologize for that. First and foremost, Donald Trump to Putin to China to Canada, perhaps to Europe, is becoming vastly becoming a joke. And it is because he plays to the cheap seats. He does smoke and mirrors. He's got this big, beautiful bill that's getting ready to sink like the Titanic, and he's doing all of this other stuff, everything that they can do. They're bringing back the young man that should not have been arrested in the first place. um, um, what is his name? Kilmar Abriga Garcia. They're
Right.
bringing him back in the midst of all of this. They're doing everything they can do to try and keep your eyes off of the big beautiful bill, which is the source of the problem between Elon Musk and Trump. So we know it could be something else. It could be something else. Um, but let's just touch on the war. 400 drones, 40 missiles, 80% of Ukraine's 9 regions, not 9 regions were severely bombed. 6 people killed, several injured. And Trump is saying, let them fight it out like a schoolyard. He's saying that because his Russian master, Vladimir Putin, is not going to forget who he is. Elon Musk alluded to that in a Vanity Fair article I read today that was grabbing something that he put out on X as they're going back and forth between Trump Social and Truth Social, Trump's version of X, and X, formerly Twitter, which is owned by Elon Musk. They're going back and forth. And Elon Musk says, I'm going to drop the bomb. The reason, the biggest thing about Trump is that he's connected, paraphrasing, that he's connected. His name is on the list, on the Epstein list, with all of the other pedophiles and all the other folks that were doing it. Well, it has long been said that there's another list in Russia that Donald Trump is on. And perhaps that is why, after he flew out there in his first term and went in there to meet with him, he looked like I looked coming out of my principal's office after she took her board of education, her board of education, and applied to my seat of knowledge, and sent me back to my classroom. Okay, in other words, translation, I got my butt spanked, and that's how Trump looked when he came out of that room. And so he's been spanked. People are tired of wolf tickets, and they're cashing them in. Vladimir Putin, Vladimir Zelensky cannot afford to play the game that Trump and J.D. Vance is playing, because it's the difference between the chicken and the hog. The chicken and the hog say that they both contribute to the human diet. The chicken says, "Oh, I'm so tired. I've had to give up all of my eggs." And the hog says, "You gave up all your eggs, but I have to give up all of my life." That is what Vladimir Zelensky and the Ukrainians, they're fighting for their very existence. Folks are saying it's just a civil war. They're fighting for existence.
To that.
And so as they're fighting for existence, Vladimir Putin had to go work a deal with Europe. And so he bombed last week those bomber planes and those surveillance planes that have been flying over and attacking his country. And then Putin comes back, and Trump is in the middle saying, "Oh, I'm just going to let him fight it out." You say that because you don't have the power. You talk like a strong man. If he truly had the power, he could say, "Stop it," and it would cease. But he does not have that power. He doesn't have that credibility. He doesn't even have it, Bishop Fann, with his own party. Here it is that the number one liar in the history of Congress, the number one liar, Marjorie Taylor Lie, has said that she would not have signed the big, beautiful bill if she had known certain things were in it. And she joined with Elon Musk to say, she said, take it out. Elon Musk in the Senate, Elon Musk said, kill it in the Senate. So it's going to be interesting. Are folks going to stay with Trump and his smoke and mirror movement? Or are they going to stay with a person that has $400,000 million and is going to be able to contribute either to their campaigns or contribute to their political demise.
Well, you know, Shannon, that point is very well taken because it's a philosophical point. You know, do I stay with this new MAGA movement or do I start a new movement? Because that's what Elon Musk said. I may start a whole new movement. He claims that Donald Trump could not even be president of the United States if it had not been for his backing. Trump says it's not true. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true or not. But on the face of it, it's true because he brought him in to do what he did as not an appointed official, but someone.
Wait. I ain't gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you say that because folks, you're just too important. You're too important to the political landscape of this city and this metropolitan area to say that. Okay, I'm John Q. I'm running off. You are my advisor.
Right.
Okay? All right? Here's a man saying, I'm going to pay $300 million to get you elected. And you walk in there with 34 felonies. He could have had 68 felonies. It could have been double. And Elon Musk had enough money to be able to buy the election, which is what happened. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that goes in there, but the information that was being pushed out, the ads that were being pushed out, that's Elon Musk's money. Okay?
The rallies, all of that, yeah.
You on that plane, that Trump plane, to fly around Trump was broke as a joke before Elon Musk did what he did, and then Elon Musk helped through social get a valuation of $2 billion. Okay? So he put money in there in the campaign. He put money in his pocket and made him $1 billion. All of this before November of last year.
And let's not.
So all of that, you telling me Elon Musk got him after baby he did? Come on now.
Well, listen. He has funded his legal expenses. He's helped him. I mean, just let's go beyond that because he was broke, as you said. They wouldn't even lend him any money for his legal expenses. So Elon Musk is surely he has helped Trump to become president of the United States. Trump would want people to believe that he has not, but he has. We know that. I was just trying to be, considerate and let people think about themselves. But the reality, we know that Musk bought the election for Trump. We know he paid for it, and that's why he's angry. That's why I was about to say that in terms of he was appointed to a position that was not a cabinet position, but had more influence over things in the government and all the internal workings of the government, to know how the government worked, where the money was coming from, where the money was going to, how to take the money and to replace it and redirect it to other places and fire people with no real authority to be able to do it, but he was able to do it because Trump gave him that authority, because Trump was bought and sold to him. And now Trump is not listening to him. Trump is talking about, well, I fired him. Well, this is not The Apprentice. This is not The Apprentice, John Trump. You just keep, you just coming up, you're fired. But we know from the conversation in the Oval Office when Elon had his son in there, that his son was saying, you are not the president. You are not the president. So I mean, we know these things. And so, but as we're looking at it and seeing how it's playing out, I think the Republican Party, and I'm looking at the Democrats now. I need a Democrat and a Republican. How are they counting this? How are they dealing with this? How are they couching this? What are they doing to help the American people to understand the dilemma that we're in? Because you're talking about a budget that he wants to take it $2 trillion. Elon want to cut it down $9 billion, because he said you're overinflating the budget. But we know that as elected officials, they here in their district, we've seen the fights in their district with people that vote that say, you're cutting our Medicaid, you're cutting our Medicare, you're cutting our Social Security, you're cutting food programs, you're cutting all these things that benefit people. Even here in Georgia, right on the other day, we saw where the Job Corps program is being cut out all across the country, and how kids are being displaced, and how kids coming out of foster home looking to have a place to get a training and a place to stay so they can get solid footing. That was a great program. The program was feeding people in other countries. So we had neighboring partners that would support us when we needed them. Attacking Canada, like you said, attacking Canada, that was the craziest idea that anyone could come up with, trying to make them the United States of America. When they got the grid up there for Detroit and all that Michigan area and up in there, that's where they get their power for. If they cut the power off from the people in Michigan and those other areas up there, where they go, and it's cold up there. I mean, there's no logic, there's no thinking, there's just graph for money, graph for money, graph for money. And even in this bill, they're still considering giving tax breaks to the rich. What about the middle class? What about the poor? What about those people? So I'm saying, where are the Democrats in this conversation? Where are those people that understand the need? I hear a few saying something, and I'm looking at some of the Republicans and what they're saying. I'm just listening, and I'm watching and I'm observing. I'm saying, who is really going to really come out of this thing and say, we really need to take care of the people who pay the freight of the cost? We need to take care of them, because the American people are the one that's bearing this burden of this taxation with very little or no representation. Real talk. Real talk.
Bishop, real talk. First of all, how do you fire a man that has more money than the entire Caribbean and half of African nations combined? How do you fire a man that has $400 billion? He has double the amount of money that Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, has, who takes his money and flies up to the moon or up to outer space for 11 minutes and jumps around for a few minutes and come back down. That's how much money he has. In a capitalistic society, Trump, you don't fire the capital king. The capital king fires you, and he's getting ready to do that. Because if he made you with his pencil, he can erase you with that same pencil. All he has to do, Mr. Trump, is flip it over, and there's an eraser on the other side of that. He said, Elon Musk, that this is he called the bill a disgusting abomination. And he has threatened that he will start to work to unseat Republicans that vote for this bill. Now, we just gonna sit and wait and see how this thing shakes out. But in a capitalistic society, money rules. And the game that they're playing, money rules. Trump is less than a penny to this man's $100. Less than a penny. Okay? And he knows it. His ego, Trump's ego, is making him say what he's saying. But we saw that man stand over you in the Oval Office, stand over the Resolute desk with his son sitting there telling you weren't the president. We saw that man stay in the office, in your Oval Office, and continue conducting business while you held his son's hand like a candy care teacher's assistant and walked that little boy to Marine One. We know what the deal is. And it's for the Democrats. The Democrats are in la la land. They are from the municipal, which ain't really from municipal, all the way to the congressional. And they are in la la land. And we pray for them to get a message, get a grip, do something. The party I'm joining right now is the judicial party, because that's who's fighting this. That's who's fighting MAGA. That's who's fighting Donald Trump. It's the judiciary that's fighting. And if there's going to be any traction in this, it ain't the Democrats. It's the judiciary. It's the judges that are fighting and pushing back the madness of would-be King Trump and reminding him but he is a federal employee of the United States of America. And he is a lame duck president. They're reminding him that he doesn't have the power that his delusions tell him he has. But they got another arrow in their quiver, and that's Elon Musk. Because hell have no fury like a rich white man's scorn.
I want to share something with you. Marjorie Taylor Greene said something Marjorie Taylor Greene said something that she didn't see that in the bill when she went along with it. One of the other congressmen was introducing a bill to give Trump more power, the executive branch more power. And when the sister called him out on it in the committee, he said, it's not in the bill. She said, it is in the bill. So she asked him to read the bill where it wasn't in the bill. And he took it he called one of the staffers over to look at it, and they told him where it was. And she looked at it. She said, that doesn't say that in that section. And then she called him out on another section. They don't read those bills. They just signing bills. They just signing bills. And listen, I don't know what bill this is. I'm somebody sent this to me, but this is something that's floating around. I'm not saying it's accurate, and I'm not saying it's inaccurate, but it is. If this bill would pass, we would not have another election. And it states all the things that this proposing to do. Now, I asked for the bill number, what the bill number is supposed to be coming out of the Senate. If the Senate passed the big one, beautiful, and Trump's sign it, that's it. It becomes law, and here what it really means. He can cancel delay elections legally. He can ignore the Superior Court ruling for years and keep it in limbo, which he's doing already. He can fire government workers for disloyalty. Judges cannot enforce their own orders. Protesters can be tracked and criminalized. LTG community rights, education, healthcare, and media will be gutted. And it goes on and on and on and on. And this bill is supposed to be about 1,100 pages. Now, there are certain things in other bills, as you know, Shanan, that they slip them in the other bills that pass because they don't read the bills, right? So I don't know what this is in any bill, but I'm fairly certain some of this is in some of this bill somebody's bill based on the conversation with this particular congressman who was the chair of the committee and one of the committee members who caught that language in the bill. Right? Because they don't read those bills. There's too many pages, 1,100 pages. That's a lot of pages to read through and look at all this nuance and stuff that they're adding in. And you and I know just from the Demon Dome here in Georgia how they'll slip some into the bill that is crossed over that will pass in the House and the Senate, right?
That's right.
So the Senate may sign on to it. Yeah, so that's real talk, and because they'll say, well, you're a Republican, this is a good bill, sign the bill, and they'll sign off on the bill, and then it'll cross over, and there we are, they're voting on a bad bill, and we got plenty bad bills that have been passed here in Georgia, and most certainly in D.C. So these are things that I think people don't know when you talk about these bills and how these bills are made and how these bills are passed. That's why we have to do these kinds of conversations and training to show people how bills are made, how bills are passed. And you have to have people who will have keen eyes to read this stuff, to understand what's in this bill. Because what's in this bill can affect you for how your quality of life is and how your money is spent. I mean, even on the local level, you know, you need to know these things. Just here, and I'm going to just throw this out as a conversation piece because at each point now we're dealing with our bill, our budget, and we have a new city manager who has not read the budget, who has brought a budget to us that he didn't understand. And even though he's new, the first thing he should have did when he came in here, knowing that the budget is the most important thing for the operation of government, is to get familiar with what the budget is and where the money's going and why the money's going here and why the money's going there, and being able to explain that to the elected official. But you want to raise the budget from $209 million to $209 million to $247 million. I mean, really? And with no explanation, no real understanding of what the budget is and why we need to do it like that. It's crazy because, you know, when we look at this is on the local level too. You need to understand how your government works and how your government is spending your money, your tax dollars. You do. You do, and too many of us sit at home and we don't want to get involved in it. And then when something happens, then we want to complain about it. But we could have did something to prevent it on the front end, but we want to argue about it on the back end. But it's too late then because the bill is passed. It's now law. And it's now law. Donald Trump don't want to abide by the law because he wants to create his own law. Right? He wants to be an autocrat. He wants to be a dictator. So he wants to do away with the Constitution. But we do have laws that we're supposed to abide by. Right? If you run a red light, you get a ticket. You run a stop sign, you get a ticket. Those are laws. Those are laws. And those are laws that we've been governed by for ever since I can remember as a teenager learning how to drive or even walking up and down the street. So I mean, we cannot be a lawless society. We have to have laws, we have to have rules, we have to have regulations. And everybody is accountable to those same rules and regulations. And it has been said that nobody is above the law. But it appears to be that there are some people that are above the law and some people that are creating their own law, that we are now having to be governed by those laws that they're creating that is not constitutional. So with that, Shannon, I'm going to yield and I'll give it to you and we'll close it out.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's voting no one when it comes back around, or if it comes back around. The issue with Trump is this. He's been moving by executive order. But here is the first major piece of legislation, and he can't even get it across the finish line. This is why Putin bombed Ukraine today. This is why Canada took the position they took. This is why and China didn't bump with the tariff that was placed on it. Because when it's said and done, serious-minded people know a show when they see one. They know theatrics when they see one. And they know true courage and true leadership when they see one. Leaders know. They can sniff it. They can smell it. It's like coffee in the morning. They can smell it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of falsity. There's somewhere I heard a song about Satan, your kingdom must come down.
Satan, we're going to tear it down. Yeah.
And we see it getting torn down right before. But God is so smooth, the way he moves, the way God moves. Folk think they know God. You're knowing God. You don't know God. You sit up and ask me, you come and say, are you saved? Say, I'm being saved. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know Jesus? I'm learning Jesus. What do you mean you preach every day? You learning Jesus? Well, see, the alphabet I know. It starts with A. It ends with Z. There's nothing before A and nothing after Z. I know where the E and the F and the G and the H and the I. I know it backwards and forwards. I know the alphabet. But when it comes to this Jesus, just when I think I know, he shows me something else. Just when I think I know the Father, he shows me something else. I read that Bible up, back and forth. Just when I think I know it, he shows me something else. I say this, and I'm saying this prophetically. If you can tell me what the last number is in Numbers, not the book of Numbers, so come with me. If you can tell me count from 1 to infinity and tell me what the last number is, and if you can tell me what the last number is, then you're just beginning to know everything that there is to know about God. And if you can't count from 1 to infinity and know what the last number is, you will never know how God uses the wisdom, because God is not using just wisdom. God is wisdom. See, we get knowledge. God is knowledge. And so the way he moves with this is he's going to let Elon Musk and Trump, while Trump talking about letting them fight it out like a schoolyard, he going to let not only them fight it out over there, which is going to expose your weakness as a president and as the leader of the free world, but there's about to be a fight over here. And they're going to get the fighting and moving. And if they want to get elected, Trump can't stop. He can give a speech, but Elon Musk can say, you know what, special, I'm going to buy television in Utah. I'm going to buy it. Your show is not coming on this week. I'm buying it. I'm buying the news out. And I'm just going to run commercials and programs against you. And that's what they know. And so they don't want to fight with a man who, for fun, burns his money. That's what's getting ready to go on. So you're getting ready to see the kingdom come down and to the Democrats who need to get their stuff together. They had better work fast. The judiciary is going to do the fight that they can fight up into the midterms. But if they don't end up getting their thing together, another party another movement that's connected to the MAGA party can move more central, and began to start moving. And look for that to start to happen. All these pardons of Jeff Fort, the founder of the Gangster Disciples in Chicago, all these federal pardons, when these guys have state charges, they ain't getting out of jail. Trump knows that. But he's doing that, dangling that to mess it up, to bring in another culture of voter, to mix it up. But look for another party to come in, and then the Democrats will stand up and get beat again in 2 years. And they'll be looking at not a J.D. Vance. No, while you looking at J.D. Vance, they're going to come up with another more slick talking, cool talking, racist, just like the rest of them. So they had better get their thing together. But Bishop, I see this thing getting ready to fold. And I thought MAGA was a movement, but movement people shouldn't be able to be bought off. Seem like there's some look like there's an agent provocateur in their movement that's buying and getting ready to bring them down. I think they're getting ready to see their own forward happen within the MAGA movement.
Well, I want to thank you for that, and I'm sure that the viewers do too, as you summarize this whole thing and bring it to light so that people can see and understand that we're in a spiritual warfare, brothers and sisters. This is not a flesh and blood warfare. This is a spiritual warfare. And God is in control. And what God said he can do or will do, he's doing it. He said, I'll pull the covering off of you. And he's pulling the cover off. We who are righteous and we who believe and we who have faith know that God is still in control. And the righteous will never be forsaken. Now that seed beg for bread. Only thing we have to do is continue to trust him, believe in him, watch, as well as pray. Thank you so very much for joining us here today on Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan Big Papa Jones. Though, as we go around the world with Straight Talk with news and information. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, make comments, and share. If you want to be on the program, hey, that's Straight Talk News 1362@gmail.com. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Won't you do that? Well, until next week, it ain't been nothing but what, Shanan? Straight Talk.
Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.